Hey everyone, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with another vid. And recently I reviewed some headphones that I thought were extremely poor. The One Audio Pro 50 Studio headphones. Whereas I got these Brainwavz HM5s for an absolute steal. I got these basically for the same cost that I got the One Audio headphones, because when I bought these, Brainwavz was having a sale and I got an extra 10% off. So I got these for right around $50, which is absolutely fantastic. Brand new, directly from Brainwavz. Yeah. And these were selling for like 150 at one point, maybe almost $200. So definitely, a good deal there. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. We're looking at, obviously, the box here. Pretty exciting stuff, right? If you want to read this, pause it and read it on your own time. Got that, top, bottom. That's it for the box. Let's go ahead and get this sucker open here and see what we got inside. So let's kill the tape there. There we go. From what I understand, there should just be a hard shell case in here. Alright, box is empty. So we just got this hard shell case. Very nice. I like the fact that they throw in a hard shell case for it. That's really cool. Alright, what do we got here? We got some, we got stuff falling down here, left and right. Okay, we got some replacement Brainwavz pads that come with it for when these things wear down. We got a user guide. We got replacement pad guide, all that. I'm going to have to read some of this stuff and see what I can find, if anything useful for you guys. Looks like we got the headphones themselves, which of course already come equipped with the pads. They don't articulate very much. They don't rotate. They don't fold in, but that's okay, because I'm not really going to be using these at all on the go. Oh, yeah. It doesn't feel like, extremely, tough. It feels kind of cheapish, the construction, but if the comfort and audio quality is there, I don't really think that's going to matter too much, because these are going to be pretty light use in the home. And in the bag, I assume we just have probably the cables and the 3/4 inch adapter. Let's see. So we got this bag here. And what do we got? We have got, oh my goodness. Wow, we got a really long cable to use with your amp or whatever. It's a fairly nice feeling cable. Looks decent enough. And of course we got a shorter cable, which is probably the one I'm going to be mostly using, because I plan on not using this on my amp too much. And then we should have that 3/4 inch adapter in here too. We got a thing not to eat, even though it looks pretty darn tasty. And there's your 3/4 inch adapter. So that's more or less what comes in the box. So actually, I'm going to pause real quick, guys, read over this a little bit, and I'm actually going to grab some Brainwavz pads that I purposely bought for other headphones, and I'm going to compare them to these and all that. So see you guys in just a minute. Okay, folks, I just spent some time kind of fiddling with pads, because I have a number of Brainwavz pads, right? And I wanted to figure out how basically to change the pads out on these. I thought this would be important and to cover in the review. And also, Brainwavz is known, I think, more for their pads in the headphone world than their headphones, funny enough, because, people buy their pads to throw on all sorts of headphones. They're well known for being more comfortable pads than what comes with most headphones, right? So I figured, hey, maybe these HM5 headphones that these pads are designed for would be, like, quote, the perfect pairing, right? And they work pretty good. Obviously, I have already put some pads on here that aren't stock that they come with, and I'll show you how that works. But I wanted, before I dived into that, I wanted to show you, this is obviously a pretty old pair of replacement pads. These did not come with the unit, by the way. These I've had for years, right? That were long serving on my Monoprice 8323s. that's what was on those. So I want to show you the pads. It comes with 2 sets of pads that are identical, right? But as you can see, they're smaller. The ones that ship with the HM5 are smaller than basically the pads that Brainwavz sells, kind of directly. So definitely a little bit smaller, but they are similar in scope here. I'll go ahead and pry one of these off here as well. And I'm going to show you a little bit that locking mechanism here in a second. As you can see, still smaller, yada yada, but still fairly big for something that comes. Definitely very comfortable pads that, kind of come with the headphone, right? But as you can see, the replacements, I mean, these are identical sizes. The only difference, of course, is the color / the perforated design of it. But let me go ahead and actually take this out of here, because if I'm going to review this, I want to review it as it comes stock, not with upgraded pads on it. These are a little bit tricky to get out because there's a locking ring here, which, come on, which I'm struggling to do on camera. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to show you kind of how this works. Obviously, we got basically a ring right there. So what you do is you just basically line it up like so, and then you just click it into place. Now, if you rotate it and it clicks into place, now if you rotate it the wrong way, it can go on either way. As you can see, it just won't go, right? You're trying to, won't turn it, but definitely do not force it, because if you do, you'll break this, and then these headphones would be pretty useless. So just there, just try to get to the edge. If you went the wrong way, just, go back the other way, gently, boom, and it locks. And that is pretty much it. So I'm going to pause again, put the stock pads back on this thing, and then we'll finally get to my out-of-the-box listening impressions. See you guys in a few. Okay, folks, I'm finally ready to give you my out-of-the-box, sound impressions. But before I do that, I do want to talk about a potential issue with these headphones. This is the short cable that they come with, because right now I got the long cable plugged into my amp, but this is the short cable they come with. And the only issue really with this cable is this adapter end here, right? It's basically the same as, quote, their big one. And here is a phone in a pretty standard type of phone case, right? So that is pretty loose in there. It's a potential concern. Obviously, I'm going to let you guys know how well this does with a mobile device like this, but I just wanted to show that off. And yeah, not the best setup ever, but whatever. And just out of curiosity, let's see how many pairs of pads I got in this case right now. We got 1, 2. It looks like I got 3 sets of replacement pads. Let's see how well they fit into the hard case and see if I can zip it up. All right. Obviously, you can't fit the headphone in there in 3 sets of pads, but you can set the 3 sets of pads in there. And I'm guessing probably one of the cables would go in all right. But, yeah, whatever. Storage, right? Storage is good. And I do like this case. It feels really good in the hand, all that. But anyway, that's not really what we're here for. We are here for the sound test. But anyway, before I do it, just because I haven't really done this yet, I'm going to give you guys kind of a full tour of these headphones, like just what they look like and all that. So there you go. Decent enough construction, but nothing outstanding. They feel all right in the hands, whatever. So I'm going to put these suckers on, and let's see how they feel. They feel okay on the head. I went ahead and did kind of comfort test these, so I wouldn't have to fiddle with it, So I'm going to go ahead and listen to some music. I'm going to start off by listening to Master of Puppets. I know it's not very compelling, guys, but I do gotta just test these out and see what I think. Success, I can actually hear the bass guitar. Very cool. I did enjoy the sound of that. I'm gonna try out another song real quick Let's try a little bit of Rust in Peace, see what that sounds like. Just real fast here. Skip ahead to the guitar. I can tell you out of the box, these seem to have really good clarity. I'm going to try one very bass-heavy track now, because people say that bass can be weak with these. I'm going to see if that's actually true. No. I am now listening to Closer by Nine Inch Nails, and it is very much, the bass is hitting pretty hard on it. I try to get to a more detailed part of the song. It sounded absolutely fantastic on that song. Yeah, my out-of-the-box impression of these, extremely, initially positive, right? So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to test these things out, let them break in a little bit, long-term comfort, all that stuff, so I can kind of report back on my overall thoughts on this headphone. So see ya in some days from now, I guess. See ya. Okay, folks, so I spent some time with these and did some comparisons. Why? Because if you're familiar with some of these other headphones, it might help you in making a decision on these. So, first ones I tested out were the M50Xs versus these, and some people say these two headphones have a similar sound signature. Well, in my opinion, if you think that, there's something severely wrong with your hearing. These headphones sound extremely different from each other. What's funny is the HM5s were the loudest headphones on, I had to turn down the volume comparing every other set of headphones to these, even though these had like the higher impedance, but whatever. Maybe they had higher sensitivity. I don't know. This was just, by the way I tested this was plugged directly into my amplifier on pure direct mode with no equalization to get as pure of a signal as possible. But anyway, how they compared to the M50s. The mids were much more forward on the M50s, and the M50s were way more hyper-detailed than the HM5s. Funny enough, a lot of people say the M50s have a V-shaped sound signature. I think the sound signature on the HM5s is much more V-shaped than on the M50s. It's not even close. I thought overall the M50s were a lot smoother and even throughout the frequency spectrum, and again, much more hyper detailed. But I will say, even compared to the M50s, I still thought the HM5s sounded fantastic. I'm not really complaining about the HM5s, just totally different way. Truthfully, the HM5s sounded a lot more like having speakers on my head than the M50s did. The M50s, for lack of a better term, everything is just hyper right in there, right on your ear cups, and it gives you a very different listening experience versus just speakers in the room, whereas these sounded much more speaker-like, as it were, even though they are closed back. They were much more speaker-like than the M50s. So that's how they compare to those, because I know that a lot of people are going to be curious about that, but whatever. So that's how they compare to the M50s. Now, next, we're going to talk about the Philips SHP 9500. Yes, I know, apples and oranges, because these are open back and these are closed back. How did they compare? Kind of the same thing. The mids were more forward on the SHPs, and the treble was more sibilant on the HM5s than I found on the Philips. But the bass was better on the HM5s versus the Philips. So definitely a mixed bag there as far as which one was better. I thought they were kind of closely evenly matched, although I did slightly prefer the Philips to the HM5s. With M50s, I strongly preferred them, but with this, I think a slight preference for the Philips over the HM5s. So finally, the last one we're going to talk about is, coincidentally, the headphone that I bought, I bought these to replace one of these. This is my wife's set of 8323s, even though my set is broken, I still did have one in the house. And ironically, the reason I've read online about, potential. A lot of people seem to have breakage issues with these HM5s. So I don't know if I bought something that's going to hold up better over time than the 8323s or not, but I can tell you that over the long term, 8323s don't tend to be very durable. I've had 2 break in the exact same way, and that was basically one of, the ear cup holding pieces just broke off, and then the headphones were done. So I've had 2 pairs of 8323s do that, hence why I did not buy another pair. But anyway, enough babbling about that. Let's get on to the sound. So I tested actually 2 different ways with the 8323s. I tested with basically, these ear pads here, which were thicker, which is the pair I had on my old 8323s. I tested with these pads, but I also tested with something a lot closer to the stock pad of the 8323s and these pads, which I have on my M50s, right? And I kind of got the same result both times. Compared to the 8323s, the HM5s were definitely more detailed, right? And the bass and treble on the 8323s actually felt recessed in comparison to the HM5s. So I actually strongly preferred the HM5s over the 8323s as far as listening goes. I thought the HM5 sounded much better than the 8323. So finally, we have a headphone that the HM5s beat the snot out of. And that's a good thing, because I still feel that the 8323s are a very good sounding headphone. In fact, all of these headphones sound very good. None of them remotely sound bad. They're all good, just in different ways, but none of them really sound alike at all. So all that's left for me to do now is kind of some bit of longer term testing with these. I'm going to listen to more variety of music genres, yada, 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 see if anything leaps out at me or not. Really, really test the comfort on these. Because I can tell you, out of the box, these things have a very strong clamping force, which is a detriment to comfort. But I'm going to try stretching them out, yada, yada, yada. And in the final part of the review, when I kind of wrap up, I'll talk about all that. So that's it for now. See you guys in a while. Okay, folks, I have had these things for, a bit more than 2 weeks now. So now that I've had a chance to test it for more than, a day, what do I think of these headphones? I think for the price that I got them at, they are absolutely unbeatable. Sound is good on everything. Now, these are slightly bright headphones, and if you have real sensitivity to that, might be an issue. But every genre of music I threw at it sounded great. All the content I listened to on it sounded great. Movies, games, whatever. Everything sounded absolutely fantastic. There was really no weaknesses with it. Also, on portable devices, even though this has an impedance of 67, which is a little bit higher than most, quote, portable-friendly sets, which tend to be between the 30 to 40 range, doesn't matter. Every portable device I hooked these up to still got plenty loud, with these hooked up. So didn't really run into any problems as far as that goes. They got very loud with them attached. Now, not blast your eardrums out loud, but plenty loud for sure. So, I really enjoy using this set of headphones. They were great. They sounded great on everything. Like I said, the only issue with the sound, a little bit bright. So if you got an issue with that, you might have an issue with these headphones. Now, I did want to point out something about these headphones. Obviously, we got color-coded L and blue for left and right and red, right? But if, let's say it's, pretty dark or whatever, and you're not trying to figure out which colors, which if you set it down like this and have like the HM5 basically pointed towards the back of your head, you'll always put this on your head correctly, right? If you go back like that. So nice little usability feature of this that I noticed. I definitely enjoyed my time using these, and these are definitely going to become my go-to portable headphones at this point. Absolutely. Earlier in the video, I said there might be an issue with the cord staying in a smartphone. Well, as you can see, It's not falling out of the smartphone. Let me show you what I do. Now, it does take a little bit of finessing to get it in tightly and to get it out. Right now it's in tightly, so to get it out, what I got to do is I kind of just got to hold the phone firmly and kind of twist and pull. I pull on the metal piece here. I wouldn't pull with the plastic because eventually you'd probably fray and break it from unplugging and replugging. But to get it in, if you just do the standard yeah, it's fairly loose. It's going to come out. But to get it in and to tighten it down a little bit, what I do is you just kind of twist and push. And as you can see, that cord doesn't come out. But you can't really just, easily pull it out either. So you just kind of got to finesse it a little bit and it comes right out. So really not a big deal. That is not a big, it's not a usability problem. So that little concern of mine turned out not to be a concern at all, which I am very pleased about. So I will link to Brainwavz store in the video description below, as well as my Amazon affiliate link. Now, at least of the time of this recording, which is May 31st of 2021. I don't know when. Right now, Brainwavz is having a sale where the price on these is $62, and at that price, it's an absolute steal. Its normal price is around $90. I'd say even at around $90, these are probably worth it. I definitely wouldn't pay more than $80 or $90 for these. I think more than that, and you can probably get much better headphones for a lower cost. But yeah, I am very pleased that I got these. I guess if these do break by some chance, I hope they don't, but if they do, I guess I will finally break down and buy those M40s I've been hearing so much about. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys like this. As always, live long and prosper. Keep on rocking. I'll see you in the next one.